And we are live. We are live at the Creative Commons Global Summit Conference in Toronto, Canada. And we have with us on site Kelsey Merkley, who is unveiling the Uncommon Women coloring book. Kelsey, let us know who you are and what this project is.
Hello, everyone. The 2018 Women of the Commons coloring book. This is my project, Uncommon Women, which lots of you know, and I've been interviewed for lots of great things. It helps to, the project is designed to increase the increase opportunities for women in leadership, and to celebrate, the coloring book specifically, is to celebrate the many, many awesome women of this movement. This year was really exciting because I went and asked the community, I asked all of you to put your names forward, or put people's names forward who they thought were their uncommon women in their life. And so there was over 100 nominations. It was incredibly difficult to be able to choose the 16. If I could make a 100-page book, I would. Maybe next year we'll kickstart enough to make a bigger book. And that was the second thing, is that last year we were able to get a donation from Creative Commons to create the book, and it was also out of my own pocket. But this year we crowdfunded it, so I used an Indiegogo campaign, and we fundraised. We hit our target in under 2 weeks, which was phenomenal. And so now there's women or people from around the world that'll be getting their coloring books in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask Helen to introduce herself and the virtual folks to introduce themselves. I'm Mahabeli. I'm at the American University in Cairo. And Helen, introduce yourself, and I'll ask Teresa, Laura, Greg, and Amanda, who just disappeared. And then maybe Kelsey can go through the list of people and tell us.
I'm here.
Yay, welcome back. Okay, Helen, go.
Yeah, Helen DeWard, and I'm on site with Virtually Connecting at the Creative Commons Global Summit. Join us and jump in and have some great conversations.
Thank you, Helen. And Helen is our lead Canadian buddy at Virtually Connecting. Teresa, do you want to go next?
Yeah, is my mic on?
You're good.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm at Warwick in the UK, in the Midlands, and I'm one of Maha's short buddies, which is great for me because I really am short. This is my bedroom, and I'm delighted to be joining you.
Teresa's just making fun that we have something on Virtually Connecting called the short buddy list, and it's supposed to be a short list, not a short buddy, but she's just making fun of my language because she's a language teacher. At least I didn't write it in French, so that's kind of good. Okay, Laura, do you want to go next? And then Greg and Amanda, and I think Mark just won.
Sure. Hi, Laura Pasquini. I'm live from rainy, wet Dallas, Texas. Glad to be here. I'm excited to see the top 16, Kelsey, because last time we talked, it was not unveiled yet, and it was still being kickstarted, so that's great. And looking forward to hearing what's going on at the CC Summit. So, hi all.
Hi, this is Greg Dillon. I'm an instructional technologist at Gordon College in North Shore, Massachusetts, and I'm really excited to be with you guys today.
Hey, it's Amanda Coolidge from BC campus. I'm actually based in Victoria, British Columbia, which is the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples. And it's very early this morning where I am, but I am pleased and love seeing the unveiling of the coloring book. And I'm absolutely honored to be one of the images that you can color.
Hey, Mark, is your mic working? You want to introduce yourself? If not, you can just type in. All right, Mark's not saying anything specific. So I'm going to turn the camera on to Kelsey, and then she can go through the women one by one.
We are very fortunate to have you guys here with us today. Via popsicle sticks. This is a fun craft that we're having as part of the unveiling during the CCN conference at the Bazaar. So we have our pop-up coloring stations. So you can come color a popsicle stick, and you can invite Mary Burgess or Amanda or Maha, and they can be here at the summit, and you can carry them around with you. We also have, these are just my examples, Miss Kim Thanos and Miss Jess Mitchell, for those of you guys know. So I put up a link for the grand list of all of the women of the Commons, but I'll go through the book itself. The first one is Ms. Jess Mitchell. Jess is at the Inclusive Design Research Center here in Toronto.
And we're having her virtually connecting tomorrow or today? Is it today or tomorrow? We're having her soon.
She is a truly fantastic human, and I'm really excited to have her in the book, as I know her quite well personally. Ms. Maha, who you guys all know very well and love, and all lived around the world. Your bio says, unparalleled dedication to connecting researchers, activists, and practitioners around the globe.
My husband's like, activists? What are you doing? Are you doing political activism behind my back?
No, education activists.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Armand Jardat, Jordan Open Access or Open Source Association. She is a media activist, a mentor, and advocate across the Arab world. You guys might know Teresa Nobre, who is a member of CC Portugal, a longstanding member of the Creative Commons community. She's also works with Comenia. She is, without exception or limitations, a lawyer and expert in IP and a passionate copyright reform researcher. Maria Juliana, with Foundation Charisma. She is an energetic community culture advocate supporting the open community in Colombia. Ms. Mary and Miss Amanda, who are so dynamic that they got the only twosome match. Of course, it was actually impossible for me to pick between the two of them, so they let me put them together. And they are the, I'm just gonna wait for the noise in the background.
It's not horrible. The noise isn't horrible.
Okay.
We can hear you well.
Powerhouse open education duo, courageous, passionate advocates for an inclusive and supportive movement. They are doers. Taedong Tetong with the Tibet Action Institute. She's dedicated, pardon me, she dedicated to Tibetans using and understanding digital tools to support non-violent fight for freedom. Jess Klein, many people in the Mozilla community are familiar with Jess Klein. She's a user experience and instructional designer, a maker, a mentor, a delightful illustrator and designer. She's an open source resource creator. She's actually helping me on a project right now. We're making icons for hug or high five to when you're at a conference to be able to visually identify if you're someone who likes to be hugged or if you prefer a high five, which is a fun project to work on. Ms. Sarah Franti, she is with the Institute Pamadero de Chero Novelas, I'm butchering this, a dreamer of a better internet for all, but specifically for women and the next generation, an activist with CC Guatemala. She's here at the summit today. Maria Sabandari with the Wikimedia Foundation Board. She is a visionary wiki editor, a community raiser, and founder of the LGBTI Wiki project. Liz Orange with the Aga Khan University in Kenya. She is passionate about Africa and intellectual property. Nicole Eber. Nicole Eber is with Wikimedia Deutschland. She's also been incredibly involved with the Wikipedia community. And the global wiki. I think I just need to take a pause for a second because we have a very exciting visitor, a really special guest. Oh my goodness, Mr. Justin Trudeau, how are you here at the summit? It is so nice to have you join us. Sorry for that brief Canadian moment. Thank you for letting him come in. Now, someone who I believe you guys all know, Catherine Cronin with the National University of Ireland. Groundbreaker in open educational practices and research. Amira Dalla with Mozilla. She is a woman behind the web, designing for inclusive communities. She is going to be on, her and Jess are going to be on the Uncommon Women panel, which is going to be held here at the summit later. And finally, Kim Thanos with Lumen Learning, a social entrepreneur in the open education who gets stuff done, relentlessly and passionate about improving the lives of student and faculty. Kim and I will be presenting, hopefully at Open Ed, both on the regular Uncommon Women panel, and then we've also put together a panel of women she works with from across her community. And finally, this space is waiting for you. and the person who you think identifies as being uncommon person. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our amazing illustrator, Rory from Rory Comics. She does a phenomenal project called 100 Women, 100 Days, where this is how I discovered her, where she produces she produces images of women to increase the visibility on Wikipedia. Last year, she made a poster, which hangs in my office. And next year, she's going to make her own coloring book. She was inspired by this coloring book, and she's going to make a coloring book for 100 Women, 100 Days, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Thank you. That was great fun.
I know there's some echoing going on. Amanda had to leave because she has to get her son ready for school, which makes sense, very early for her. Anybody have questions for Kelsey or any comments?
The books are available for purchase if you want one. I can send the link. I can send you guys. I'll put the link out on.
In case folks are watching this, it's uncommonwomen.org/uncommon-women-2018. And is there another place to buy them from?
Yeah, I'll send the link out. I haven't had a chance to tweet the link
okay,
to
sure.
If you want to purchase your own copy.
Great, thank you. It was such an honor to be one of those. And the problem with it is trying to explain it to family that you're in a coloring book, and they're like, what? What does that mean? Like, you're in a coloring book? Like, you're going to color a book? I'm like, no, I am. That took a while, but when they see it, they'll understand.
They'll understand.
Thank you so much.
Did you get her coloring book?
They haven't been sent out yet. The books just arrived yesterday from the printer, so everyone will get their books sent out to them probably after my vacation, but they will get sent out very shortly. Mom is really famous. I agree. So there's a question, Gregory.
Yes, that's me. No worries. I was wondering if this work is being presented at the summit or if it's being integrated into the dialogue there.
The Uncommon Women Project?
Yes.
Yeah, so I run panels around at various conferences, and so I was fortunate to be accepted for the CC Summit to present a panel as well. So we're having a panel at 4 p.m. today, or 3 p.m. today. And so in these panels, it's actually really more of a discussion and a dialogue. So I choose for women to come sort of be conversation seeders. And we start talking about some of the issues that face women, some of the barriers, and also, really importantly, some of the opportunities. There's a lot of phenomenal women who are already great leaders who are doing great work, and how do we try to bring more of that into the movement? And also, one of the pieces that we're focusing on today is around advocates, because women are more likely to succeed in their roles if they have an internal advocate. Specifically, if you look at it from a financial gain, they're 65% more likely to get a raise or a promotion based on having an internal advocate within their organization. And in this time, this era of Me Too, I know that there are a lot of allies and advocates looking at ways that they can be supportive and that they can help make this world better. So that's what we're talking about later today. And then, yeah, I run one at Open Ed. Open Ed was a really big, like a huge one. We exceeded the capacity of the room. And then BC Campus has invited me out, and I ran 2 panels last month out there. I was meant to be in Delft, but unfortunately I got a new job, so I won't be able to be there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats on the new job.
Thank you. Very exciting. So I won't be able to make that, but Amanda will be there, and I'm sure having discussion she'll be showing up. She'll get her coloring book there. So yeah, if you guys know conferences or events or things where you think that this conversation should happen, please let me know. And I'm always happy to put out a request or have that conversation. I think it's one of the most important things we can do.
Sure, it's a great idea. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for Kelsey? What have you been doing so far? Like, this is not the first thing of the day, right?
Yeah, so we kicked off. We actually had a really quite a special ceremony this morning by Wabagoon, who's an Indigenous elder. She opened the summit with a traditional ceremonial prayer, which is always, I find, really moving and really placemaking. I find it really grounds everyone in the conference and in this moment. It's very important to Canadians. I would also encourage you, there's a great app that is available for download called Whose Land, which is you can see whose land you're standing on at that particular moment across North America, so in Canada and in the US. And so if you want to give acknowledgements, you can do that. Yeah, Whose Land app. I think it's just Whose, yeah. So I encourage you to check that out. Ryan opened the conference we got new buttons this year. I'll just take it up. I won't put my, this will be easy. Boop, there we go. The theme of this year is,
I love the color.
I want to see it.
yes, it's very sparkly. I can hold it up again.
Mm.
Sparkles.
Yeah, because Alan Levine sent us something from last year as well. It was really cute.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to be around. The theme of this year's giveaways is whimsy. So there's lots of great fun whimsical stuff around the whole of the summit, so including the coloring book.
Laura, you're unmuted, so I'm thinking you might want to say something.
Yeah, I was going to ask Kelsey. I've talked to Kelsey about her project before, and I was going to ask, would you be interested in other collaborators or artists who might want to contribute to another edition of the book this year, or are your plate's full now that you have a new job on there?
I'm always excited. I'm always like, yeah, I'd love to hear about that. So if there's a way, I was thinking actually. I didn't make them, but one of the, well, I don't have any to show, but one of the giveaways for the Kickstarter was a poster, which was super fun to make, which might be a different way. And then I thought next year, maybe instead of a coloring book, maybe we make postcards, which I think would be cool to send out, and maybe they're not colored in. But yeah, lots of fun ideas. I know Rory she is exceptional. She is also exceptionally busy. She is just taking off and doing awesome stuff. So I'm always excited.
I don't know if I told you about this, Kelsey, but I reviewed the first Uncommon Women coloring book with Books for Citizenship for Children. And I reviewed it with another book. That one Alan Levine had sent me last time, and I reviewed it with a book called Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls. Yeah. And that book has like all those stories of women and like artists drawing them, and there are different artists for each page.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably like a set of 10 artists or something throughout the book.
Yeah, so this project was inspired by the Rebel Girls book.
Ah, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. So we had bought, my husband Ryan had bought it for his daughter, and with that Kickstarter, because he bought it early, he got a coloring book with it. And then that was kind of, I wanted to do something to celebrate the women of the Commons, because I noticed that there was a large number of women that were behind the scenes getting a lot of really great work done, but their work was not as upfront as a lot of the men were, and not being seen as thought leaders or not being given their place. So the coloring book is the way that we chose to celebrate them. It also does something really interesting. If you go through, we have an Instagram and a Twitter account, you can see the GIFs. So I take pictures of every time someone colors someone in, if I'm at a conference, because we host pop-up coloring sessions. And then you can see, I think it's fascinating the way that people interpret other people, that they don't see color because they have no idea what race or these people are. So I think it's really cool to see the different ways that people get hair and skin color and wild blue lipstick or whatever. A lot of fun.
That is really cool. So we check your Instagram to see that, right?
Check on the Instagram, also on the Twitter account. And Twitter is
Uncommon_women.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay.
I think I need to vanish.
Thank you so much.
It was really great. I hope
Have
that
a good one.
again soon. That sounds like
Thank you.
I can smile for you.
Thank you.
but don't worry, we got you here all summer long, Maha. I know you're here, but you were also here with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, she's the first person who got excited about this. Like, she knew that old book, like last year's book, and so she's like, oh, look, he's going to be in this.
Maybe in it. Oh, well,
Thank you.
So exciting.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Kelsey. Bye, Ellen. Bye, Ellen.
So normally I'd ask folks if they wanted to stay online, but my jaw really hurts. So, but here's the thing, I can leave and I won't stop the broadcast, and it'll stop as soon as everyone leaves. So Helen, do you want to stay on if people want to stay on for like 10 more minutes or something?
Just a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to run as well.
Okay.
Bye,
everybody. Thanks for sharing this moment.
Bye, Oda.
Feel better.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too, Greg. Bye.
Hi, Helen.
Hi.
Hi, Helen. At last I have a chance to thank you for all the work you've done behind the scenes to help me get onboarded.
You're so welcome. Yeah, it's like stuff like this really makes you realize that it's not just one person doing. It's like a group of people, and they're all pitching in and doing different things.
That network makes it so much stronger.
Yeah, yeah. And Paul announced this morning in the opening message that the Creative Commons is more. They've revamped their whole structure to be more about people building the network than organizations. So it's kind of looking at the people as the network and the work that everybody puts into it. So it'll be an interesting summit as we go through the next 3 days.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm hoping to sort of connect it and feed it into the OER 18, obviously, which is next week. So
there's a whole pile of different sessions around open education that are going to be really interesting conversations. I'm I'm presenting with Rajiv a couple of sessions, and one of them is about breaking open. How do you break open so that
yeah. I participated in that session in the breaking open session last year, and it was one of the most moving things I've ever taken part in. It was absolutely incredible. Yes, because I came from the standpoint of no, you can't break open. Break open is so important.
Yeah, but how do you break it? Like, how can you break it? How can you make it not work? I think that will be an interesting conversation we have. That session is tomorrow, and Terry Green. There are a couple of Ontario eCampus folks that are going to help them out with that one. So it'll be an interesting session.
You're very fortunate in Canada to have this groundswell and sort of public. Probably one of the better political situations to actually be advocating. You know, when you look at the UK and you look at the US, it's pretty tough.
Bye, Mark. Glad you dropped in. Yeah, I think we are in a unique position to being able, even just
to show leadership, leadership, and it's
the number of people that are here from different countries. Quite incredible.
Yeah.
97. There are 97 people here who received scholarships through the Creative Commons organization. They wouldn't have come otherwise.
No, it's good to see that, and it's good to have obviously the launch of Creative Commons certification as well tomorrow. Yeah. This is actually, this is really important for educators.
One of the people who's doing that is coming the session on Sunday, the last session with Alec Tarkowski. Yeah. She's coming to talk about that. So if you can join that conversation,
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Cool to hear. And she's just DM'd me to see if she can bring someone else along who's kind of working with her and one of the scholarship people. So it'll be really interesting conversation to have. So lots of good stuff coming. Really excited about the session. It's tomorrow with Chris Borg. Librarian with MIT. And she's one of the keynote speakers. So she's going to come and again, she's dropping in tomorrow 3:45 session. Excellent. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Exciting. You're going to be very, very busy, I know.
Very tired at the end of these 3 days.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I think there's a group of us presenting tomorrow. No, today at 4 o'clock, we're presenting Common Connections, and it's riding the open range. So we've got this Western theme going. So that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was nice to see you. I'm going to drop.
Nice to see you too. Take care and have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Helen.
Bye, Helen. Bye, Teresa. Good to see you.